So I'm feeling a little sick right now because
Why'd you eat so much chili?
I ate so much chili.
Such a wild card move.
And that has paired with this sinking feeling that I just spent way too much money at the hairdresser.
God, your hair looks good.
It looks so good. I need everyone to tell me it looks good.
It looks great. It
because
looks really, really good.
it was $800.
Insanity.
And as our listeners know, I don't have a job. So it's a thing that I've gone to this person a few times. It's always in the 500 range, which yes, is also a bit too much, but I rationalize it.
Because you don't go, how often do you go?
I go like every 4 months. So, all in all, I can make sense of it, but
so uncomfortable.
I just paid out and I feel sick.
You don't look happy about it.
So I went in at 11. I left at about 3:45 and I hadn't eaten all day. So I just got to Morgan's and I said, "Do you have any food for me?" She just gave me chili and I just ate way too much chili.
That's a pretty big bowl.
To try to kind of calm my nerves without spending all that money.
Because the thing that I want when I'm heavily stressed out is a giant bowl of chili and a olive pickle martini. Which
that's what we're having.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Welcome to Sex Sisters in the City. Grab your Manolos and martinis from the dirty South to NYC. Carrie, Miranda, Charlotte, Samantha, we feel like we know you. Big and Stanford and all the other sub-characters, we'll talk about them sometimes too.
So we've come a long way.
And it's 4:30, everyone. So no judgment coming from that side of the house. It's happy hour somewhere.
It's happy hour here. It's here.
And let's be honest, this episode was a little bit weaker. I think it's nice.
It's on the weak side. Do we just not like the show? That's my real question. We hate it.
No, this episode was a bit weaker, so we needed a strong drink to kind of lube up our feelings of sorts.
Pep it up.
Pep
it up a little bit.
So, thoughts on the episode?
Man, yeah, a little slow. But fashion wasn't huge.
Fashion was not huge. After last week where we had a really amazing fashion episode.
And it kind of like it switches off every episode. Like you have a really good fashion episode, I feel, and then the next one it won't be as good.
I did find this one pretty funny though, and we'll get into it. And Miranda is pretty hilarious in this one, I thought. Oh, she's just eating a pickle, everyone. ASMR that. Let us all hear it. Oh gosh. I bet that sounds really crispy to hear because it's crispy here in the room.
If we had headphones, a real podcast, we would be able to hear it.
Because then they wouldn't be able to see my blowout if we had headphones. So that's she paid so much money for this blowout. A silly amount of money. Mom, so my mom can hear this podcast. Whatever we talk about sex, that's fine. But her hearing that I spent this amount of money on my hair, that's going to do it for her.
Kim can't listen to this episode.
She can't listen to this episode just for the sheer that fact.
We'll just tell her. We'll just say it didn't. Yeah, we skipped 8.
Yeah, we just skipped it. It's just a lame episode. Okay, so let's start.
What's the name of this episode?
Oh, duh. Three's a Crowd.
Yes.
So this is the threesome episode.
You get it. We get it.
We all get it. Three's a Crowd.
Mm-hmm.
And that's true. And can't wait to hear what you think about Three's a Crowd, but we'll get there.
Don't look at me like that.
So they start out at a benefit for a place called Epstein Bar. Any relation? Epstein Island? Anyone? Too soon?
Wow.
I don't know.
First 9/11 and now this.
Yeah.
We're just getting on to really dark energy.
We're getting into it.
We are.
Because
you thought this was a sex podcast?
Oh no. We're talking about
we're all fun and games over here.
Not today.
We get into it. NPR, pick us up.
Pick us up because we're going to talk about whatever this benefit was for something called the Epstein Bar, which I believe could be for Epstein Island. Think about it.
That is rough. That is. I thought I put a lot of olive juice in that. Man. Yes. So first, I want to say, yes, this is the threesome episode. And there's a lot of conversation with whether, I think Carrie says, quote, is threesome the new frontier in relationships? And I think this was kind of like an offshoot of the monogamous topic from last episode. I thought it was a little bit repetitive.
I thought so too.
As far as ideas go with like monogamy, polygamy, things like that.
I thought so too. I also just felt like overall it's a bit of a weak concept in general. I don't think threesomes, like she's like, are threesomes the new couple? Like, no.
Should this be? I don't
That's
think
not a
this episode
thing.
aged well.
No, it's not a thing. I mean, whatever. People have threesomes, but I don't think it's necessarily like she goes on and on, I guess, about how like it's the new thing or whatever.
I don't think it should composite an entire episode.
No, I completely agree.
Yeah.
I think it should have been a side plot. I think it should have been like Charlotte's side plot with a bigger kind of, and I guess in a sense it is if you think about the storyline of her and Big's ex-wife, which could potentially be like the main thing.
God, yeah.
So
much to say about that.
we'll get to it. I guess
That's just kind of what I wanted to say right off the bat.
Yeah.
I thought it was a little like, okay, we kind of heard this last time.
I definitely agree. It just kind of felt a little bit more like a throwaway episode, like a middle of the season type of thing. These aren't new concepts we're hearing.
But
from
that doesn't
them.
mean we're going to throw it away.
No, we're not.
And that doesn't mean this is a throwaway episode.
I did my hair for this.
Yeah. We made martinis
And
for
we
this.
made martinis for this.
They're just ridiculous. So if you're interested, which I'm sure that you are, I'll do about 3 ounces of gin, not vodka. That's we're not crazy.
We're gin girls.
About an ounce and a half of olive juice and a little splash of pickle juice. And if you're me, I like to put a pickle in my martini.
It's pretty delicious, everybody. It's pretty good. And she makes mean chili as well.
It's no Cosmo.
But it's much better than a Cosmo for me, but that's besides the fact.
Let's get on with
Let's
it.
get on with it. We got Charlotte
Okay.
and we got this guy. I don't even remember his name. I don't know if you wrote it down or
Guy.
not. Her and Guy.
Charlotte's guy.
She
Threesome
chased
guy.
him through every disease in New York is the line because they went to a lot of charity fund. They go to a lot of benefits together.
Oh, I see. Okay.
You ever been to one of these benefits?
Never been to a benefit. I don't know.
Funnily enough, once your boyfriend Brad gave Greg and I tickets to a benefit that
checks out.
That totally tracks. That he couldn't go to. It was a lot of money being thrown around there. I got to wear a fancy dress.
We were like a gala.
I wore like a gala
Yeah.
dress. It was fun, but I didn't. I donated. They didn't want my money,
No.
frankly. They're
They
like,
didn't want a $10 check.
yeah,
No.
$20, everybody. And Jack. I wrote it down.
Jack.
Jack was perfect for her, and he said, "What are your fantasies?"
Yes. And I think that this is every guy's fantasy. I
Yeah.
don't think that I've ever had a conversation. Okay, I won't say ever, but majority, 98% of the time, this is what a guy says.
I'd be willing to bet on that as well. That
Yeah.
seems pretty accurate. Even if like
A threesome is what we're talking.
yeah, a threesome. Even if they're not, into it in practice,
Yeah.
they've thought about it.
Yes.
They've thought about it.
Yeah. It's like this and anal, which I think is what Samantha says.
She says, "I'd love to have my own gallery and a cottage in Maine."
Oh, yeah.
Which honestly, if you
sweet.
were to ask me about my fantasies, it's never sexual. It's
No,
it's,
never.
It's about
said the same thing.
owning a cottage in Maine
Think of the
for
Met.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then he said, "No, sexual." And she goes, "I've always wanted to do it in my parents' bed."
It's so
I
wild.
was like, "That's out of pocket,
Charlotte's a
Charlotte.
freak.
That's freaky. That's pretty nasty."
I would not, even if that was a fantasy of mine, I would be so embarrassed.
No, I wouldn't share that
I
with
wouldn't
anyone if
share
it
that.
was. It's
Not to kink shame.
not to king shame. It's not. And frankly, if my partner wanted to do it in his parents' bed, I would say no.
I would say I don't want.
I would
to
say
do
I don't
that.
want to do that in
You
there.
can't make me.
That because that's crazy.
It, like, okay, if it happens, it happens.
Whoa.
It happens. I don't know why I felt the need.
What
I
situation?
don't know why I felt the need to
It
just throw that in there. Like, Just if the scenario arises
And you have to. There's no other option.
and there's no other option.
It's like a Saw situation where
Yeah, it's pretty wild for Charlotte to just throw that out there.
it's very funny because she says it and it's supposed to be like
Like
innocent.
a cute little
It's like,
innocent thing.
whoa,
It's like,
it's kinda
"Whoa,
crazy."
Charlotte, that's kinky.
It's one thing to want to do it, I guess, maybe in your childhood home, like in your
Yeah.
room or something.
Yeah.
But your parents' bed is she a freak. And then, yeah, I said he asked for a threesome. Always, that's not
just
surprising. And Charlotte is so flattered, which
Me?
is not. He does a good job of like reverse psychology.
He plays the game
on
so
her.
well.
It's really because honestly, that's probably how every guy should go about it. Is just make it about her. Like, oh, it would be
You're so
you're
sexy.
so powerful and seeing you with a woman or whatever. But
Yeah.
no, in reality, hearing that, it just makes you feel fucking inadequate. It makes you feel like, oh, so I'm not enough.
Yes, I think we've all been here in this situation. And, I might want to get a man's perspective on this because maybe it's not about us not being enough.
I bet it isn't, actually.
But I can't help but think that it is.
No, I bet
It's always my fault.
It's yeah. I'm gonna make everything about me.
Everything is about me.
So then she goes to what looks like a cafeteria of some sort. It's not a glamorous looking lunch spot that they all selected.
No, it's wild.
So Miranda said she thinks she had a threesome. She woke up in someone else's bra.
Hilarious.
Samantha says you want to be the pitch hitter, all the great sex without wondering what it will do.
She also said the only way to go about it is to be the guest star.
The guest star, which she's actually completely right. I could see it being a fun experience for the extra person.
If you're invited.
Yeah, if you're the one invited, because you don't have to deal with any of the aftermath.
Nothing to lose, everything to gain.
Nothing to lose. It's that there's this meme that's like, hey, I saw you from across the bar. Me and my wife really like your vibe. Like,
Yes.
that
I'd be like, oh, me?
whoa, me? I don't think I'd do it, but I respect people who do, like Samantha.
Yeah. And Miranda says, it's just a guy's cheap ploy to watch you be a lesbian for a night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like all these are totally correct. Miranda and Samantha are the ones who are like realistic about it. The best is to be a guest star. Charlotte said, which is so funny. She said, I would want to do it with someone I know, like Carrie.
Yes. It's so adorable.
It's
Because
really
she's
sweet.
so, and this is what I love about Charlotte is, yeah, she might be a little bit like, we call her like Miss Perfect, or like she can never do no wrong, but she is very open and honest with everyone. Charlotte is kind of coined as like Miss Perfect, can never do no wrong, but like when it comes to like talking with the girls, she's always very candid and just always like upfront. And I just love in these kind of moments where she's like, I would do it with you, Carrie.
Yeah.
Like, I just think it's so adorable.
She has this like really wonderful innocence about
Yeah.
her, but she also has like a beautiful ability to like feel very free. And Carrie actually says it later on in the episode where she says like, just when you write her off as like a, Miss Connecticut.
I wrote that down.
Yeah, she'll surprise you and be like incredibly enlightened. And I mean, I'll just say, if I were to ever have a threesome, it would not, I repeat, not be with any one of my fucking friends.
It's not going to be with anyone I've ever known,
no,
seen, heard of,
or will ever hear
will
of.
ever know, see, or hear of in the
Again.
future.
No, like never.
Never.
Because especially if it's with your boyfriend or whatever, like,
Oh, God.
and that happened with your fucking friend. And then
What if you were asked by a couple friend?
and I was single, still no. Cause no. Like,
Okay, so same way, both ways.
I think I could potentially do one with a friend, and if like me and the girlfriend were both single and we had a guy that we would never see again.
Oh, I see.
I could see that.
Oh, so the guy's the guest
The
star.
guy could be the guest star. And then
Oh,
we as girls
interesting.
never talk about it again. But I don't know.
But that would still be your friend.
Still my friend, but I wouldn't be jealous of my friend because we wouldn't have a romantic relationship.
That's true. Yeah. No,
What do you think about that?
I think that that's interesting. I didn't think that the guy could be the guest star.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine the guy's the guest star and it's just two friends. Think about it. Interesting perspective.
Wow.
And how do you feel about threesomes?
Yeah, I think that
You just say it and we'll cut it.
I
out if you
agree
want.
with you that it can't be with a friend because from experience, it will completely ruin the relationship
Yeah.
with not only you and the friend, but you and your partner.
Oh,
you
yeah.
can't, I don't think, and there's probably exceptions to the rule. I think more times than not, that's going to become a stress on the relationship. And I think it's because it's hard to, at least for me, and I could be in the few that feel this way. It's hard for me to separate like my emotions at the time.
Oh, for sure.
And but also I'm not really attracted to someone unless I have an emotional connection to them.
Mhm.
So I could never probably do the whole, which we'll get further in the episode, like finding someone in the bar,
Yeah.
because I just wouldn't be into it because I feel like I have to have,
You have to know them.
I have to know them. I have to have a connection with them. Unfortunately, I'm not attracted to women. So this scenario probably will never arise. Sorry, Brad, but it's not happening. But I mean, this goes both ways, even if it's, it's not gay if it's in a three-way, as the Lonely Island calls it.
Three-way. Yeah, think I'm too jealous. Like I really like I think I could like be attracted to a woman or whatever. Like
That's why you do it with another man.
no. Because I couldn't. No, that's so much work. I have a friend.
It's crazy.
who
I can't
did
believe
it.
anyone would ever.
I have a friend who did a guy threesome, and she just said a lot of fucking work. It's all on you. It all falls on you.
Yeah. It's a lot of pressure.
Yeah,
As I could imagine it being a lot of pressure.
like a challenger situation.
It's nice to be the center of attention, though.
I assume so. Well, it's funny, Greg and I have talked about it, never in a serious way, but more of just in a how do you feel about that sort of way. And he plays his cards right. I'll tell you what, he knows exactly what to say because he's like, I could never, that's too much for me. He's like, what would I do in that scenario?
You're already so much.
Yeah, you're enough. I
can barely handle you.
Exactly. And I'm like, he's what a good guy.
Great guy. I was going to ask, I was like, does you and Greg have that conversation? But I feel like I don't know. I feel like when I've had this conversation, it's always the same thing. I'm like, come up with something new.
Yeah.
Be original. Do you want me in an alien suit that we got you for your bachelorette party? Like, actually.
Wait. Where's this going to take us?
Right, no, forget about me. Oh, come on. Yeah, I'll do it with you guys. It's like picking teams for dodgeball all over again.
Then Miranda gets her feelings hurt.
Yeah, poor Miranda.
No one wants to do a threesome with her.
She says she feels like not getting picked for dodgeball all over again.
I'll be honest, if I would feel that way if all my friends were talking about wanting to hook up when no one wants to hook up with me, even if I don't want to.
I want to be invited to the party.
I want to be invited to the party.
Doesn't mean I'm gonna go.
And Miranda, I think this is a chip on her shoulder that she's always had. She's got a different type of personality. She's not as feminine or as, whatever as the other girls. So I could see that might hurt her feelings.
Yeah.
But she just keeps saying do a threesome instead of have a threesome.
Yeah.
You don't want to do a threesome with me? Do a threesome with me.
Do pot?
Yeah.
Do alcohol with me?
Do alcohol with me? Were threesomes the new frontier? Is what Carrie asked. Doesn't feel all that new to me.
I don't know. I feel like it's not groundbreaking.
No. People have been doing it probably since the dawn of time, as she said, but I don't really feel like it's as big of a deal as they made it out to be. Like
exactly.
I don't think it's as common as it is. Like, I don't think it's that common, for one.
I don't think so.
I don't think
maybe we're just prudes.
Maybe we're prudes, but I don't know many people who have done it. And the ones who do, it's typically like they didn't really enjoy it, I'll say.
Yeah, or like
maybe because I'm talking to women who didn't enjoy it.
Maybe. God. That's probably what it is. Women don't want to do newsflash.
Newsflash.
PSA. Women don't want to do threesomes.
They don't want to do threesomes. You know what we want? We want to be fucking spooned
Yeah.
for an hour and watch Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah.
That's what we want.
I just want a hug.
So write that down. And we want a house in Maine. And
House in Maine.
we want to own our own gallery.
Just like, you know what I like? When you're kind of sitting down and he just kind of comes up from behind you and just like kind of puts his arms around your shoulders.
That's my fantasy.
Isn't that the best?
It is the best.
That's what we want.
Just like little light forehead kisses.
Yes.
Mm.
Why is that not your fantasy? It's probably Greg's fantasy, knowing him. Besides the balls stuff.
Alex
I could
Cooper.
have gone my whole life without knowing.
Alex Cooper is rolling in her grave. Like, God, these fucking
Hates us.
rude. These
We suck. This is how you know that we are happily
in love.
in love. And it's so
It's
disgusting.
boring.
I'm disgusted with myself. I'm
Mm.
sure you're disgusted with us.
I'm sorry. You thought you were gonna get juicy threesome stuff. We're talking about light
Sorry,
neck kisses.
Alex. We're letting you down.
Sorry. Samantha, this is a bad look for
This is not good.
Samantha.
This is not good.
I was-
Toxic.
I was mad at her. And maybe this is coming from a married woman, but I was like, this is fucked up because I thought she didn't want to do that.
She said that she didn't want married guys.
And then this guy, he's talking about his wife. You're so much better than my wife. I
terrible.
love that you're so. And how annoying, first of all. Shut up. Shut up.
Shut up. And yes, I don't want to ever put all the blame on the mistress.
Oh, for sure.
Definitely
it's
not.
not Samantha's fault
And it's
entirely.
One thing to be sleeping with a married guy. It's another thing to be sleeping with a married guy and just talking about the wife
I
the
know.
whole time.
And she's annoyed by it, clearly, but
Yeah.
not annoyed
Not enough to stop.
to stop. This guy is like, he just looks like annoying as hell.
Yeah.
And she seems to she learns her lesson at the end, as one should. So that's the Samantha storyline.
Yeah.
Nothing much to say about it other than I'm a bit disappointed in the whole storyline. Charlotte goes on another benefit date, dancing for dyslexia. Her hair is so cute in this next scene.
She looks so cute.
She she can look so like, I don't know, but like polished and prim and, Connecticut
Little
style.
preppy.
Preppy. And then in this scene, she's very like cute girl, 90s, like fun hair.
So fun.
Yeah.
So Alanis Morissette, so cute. I love the gold dress.
She
She's
looked
wearing-
really
she looked
fun.
so good.
Yeah. And I wonder if that was intentional on the part of wardrobe because we're kind of seeing her feel sexier in these scenes. She's
Yeah.
feeling maybe younger, maybe less like herself and more like this sexy version of herself that he's kind of telling her she is.
Yeah. That's true. Good on wardrobe for that one.
And he's boosting her up. It feels so transparent to me, but
So
she's just
transparent.
like,
And
so
he's
he's
basically trying to point out girls at the bar or at this party for them to take home together. And this exact situation has happened to me.
oh, let's get into
Like-
it. That's crazy.
The audacity.
The audacity.
No, because I look back on it and I was kind of like Charlotte. I was dating this guy and like he was very, very, he was very like all he wanted to do. Like that's what he talked about. All
How
the time. I mean, we were a year
annoying.
into our relationship, but like,
just annoying.
oh my God. And I should have seen and you talk about, you should have seen the red flags, and that always happens in hindsight. But like, and he would do the same thing where he'd be like, no, you're so hot. Like it'd be so hot. Like you're different. Like, and those things kind of work on you a little
they
bit.
can get to you, I'm sure.
And
yeah.
there was definitely a night that he just went too far. And it went from like kind of talking about it, kind of joking pillow talk, to literally pointing out girls in the bar that he was saying, she's so hot. You guys would look great together. And like trying to like talk to them.
Oh, weird.
And I'm just like taken aback because
Yeah.
I'm so uncomfortable and don't know what
Mhm.
to do. And at this time I should have just broken up with him so much earlier on. And it was like very hurtful, actually.
Yeah.
And it just like kind of brought my And like maybe that's a me problem. Maybe I know that maybe I probably wasn't as secure in the relationship as I should have been. Those are things for me to reflect on. But I do think that if like you keep talking about it in a way that you feel inadequate and like, oh, I'm really not enough to the point where this isn't even a conversation for us. You're literally bringing in girls from the bar and like he was buying drinks and like I should have just been like, dude, fucking stop. But I didn't. And like looking back in hindsight, like I should have.
No, it's not your fault. That persistence is fucking annoying. It's clearly like fueled by this like, oh, I'm so close. Like, first of all,
Yes.
the assumption that you're going to find a girl that's down is like one fucking thing.
No, it's crazy.
But the second thing of just, yeah, that would make me feel like fucking shit if
I
they
felt so bad to the point where I was like, well, should I do this? Like, do I need to spice things up? Like,
yeah, that
so
would
where I'm kind of like vetting the girls and I'm like, oh, she's cute.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not into it, but
I
like,
guess her
he'll really enjoy this. And like, and I was really considering it.
yeah.
Luckily, there was no girls willing, or maybe it would have happened and I would feel way worse about myself now.
Oh God, and he would feel like the fucking man. And that's what's annoying about it is he just the man just wants to feel fucking cool and like,
Yeah.
wow, I got
And the other
this.
thing that they do is they'll say, well, I did it with my ex.
Really?
And then you
you
feel
feel extra inadequate.
yeah, you feel like a prude, or you feel
Oh, so I'm not cool enough.
I'm not cool
and-
enough. I'm not the cool girl that you really want.
Yeah.
And then you feel even extra bad. And I'm like, what do you want me to do? Like completely change my taste and like what I want to do? What about you get with another man? How about that? And you
That would be hot.
and you bring that up, and that's when they shut up.
That's a good
and
way
you're
to
like,
shut it down.
Okay, what about that guy? He's hot. How about that? How about we get with another girl, and then next week we get with a guy? What's the difference?
wrong with that?
And
yeah.
and then he'll go, well, that's gay. And I'm like, but it's not gay for me.
but it's hot because
but
it's me.
But
'cause
it's
whatever.
not gay. It's hot because
What-
it's two women.
I like Call Me by Your Name. It can-
yeah. God, so sue me. I like what I like.
It would be hot when you did it too. No, that's actually a great way to shut it down. I think that that's fucked up. And what's funny is like, I'm so jealous that I don't even think that Greg it wouldn't even cross his mind, even if he thought it. He wouldn't even
jealous
because
person.
I'm just could be talking to someone in passing, and I'm like, oh, you want to have a threesome with her?
Wow. So you want to divorce me
Oh,
and marry her and move to Connecticut and start a
if
gallery?
that's what you want. You want to have a threesome? Then I'm not that girl. I'm not that
It's
girl.
like, that's Andrea's friend.
Yeah, he's like, what do you mean? That's
It's my cousin.
yeah. That's my old teacher. She's 55 years old. Oh God, that's crazy. Good thing you ended it with that guy.
God.
That's fucked up.
That was really mean.
Well,
Mean.
that's a mean thing to
Mean.
do. So yes, he's flattering her, and then Charlotte has a wet dream about it.
Oh, yeah.
Who among us? You
Yeah.
know, that's wet dreams aren't.
And this is Charlotte's kind of like a little bit of an awakening for her.
Yeah, she feels adventurous
it
and
for her.
fun, and yeah, it. If anything, it like boosts her confidence a bit sexually.
She's getting excited about it. She wants this to happen.
She's
which
into
all
it.
all the more freedom for her. And this isn't a guy. It's like not her boyfriend. It's just a guy she's been seeing. You know,
Yeah.
it's nothing that crazy serious.
He's making her feel like powerful in it,
Yeah.
and that's exciting. Charlotte hadn't been that excited since she tried on her JV cheerleader's uniform. Which is pretty funny. Then we've discovered that
Amanda.
Yeah. Then we discover that Miranda is going to therapy because
Hilarious.
no one wants to do a threesome with her. And if your friends won't go down on you, who will?
That's the quote. That's it.
It's so
And
funny.
it's just such good this again. And like they have these moments where the comedic writing is really funny and good. And Miranda's a good actress. Like
she's really funny.
she's a funny person. Like
She's got great comedic timing in
does.
these scenes.
no, she does. This was hilarious. Yeah, I just love how she's kind of being toxic about it.
She is.
Yeah.
She's making it about her. And of course we've all been there. It's a really funny little offshoot that Miranda's going to therapy because her friends don't want to hook up with her. And it's like bringing out these other issues, like being last to get picked. Carrie and Charlotte walking down the streets. Not my favorite outfits.
Carrie looks like she had a good night.
Yeah, she looks hungover.
Carrie looks a little bit like she had a long night with Big.
I was thinking
in this episode.
She's like,
which I'm like, good for you, girl.
She's chugging coffee. She's getting hers. And I think Carrie's a woman after my own heart in terms of the threesome thing. She's like, no, not interested.
Yeah.
I'm a one man kind of girl.
Yeah.
And then Charlotte says this great quote where Carrie says, like, you would really have sex with someone you don't know. And she goes, well, how well do we really know anyone we sleep with? And then Carrie says, like, that's the thing
about Charlotte. Just as you were about to write her off as a Park Avenue Pollyanna, she'll say something so right on, you'd think she was the Dalai Lama.
Yeah.
And this is, I think, what I was trying to say earlier that I was kind of butchering, is that Charlotte just kind of has this wisdom, this like secret wisdom about her. And like, she's just so powerful. I don't know. I loved that kind of being written into the show, because it's something that's kind of always like sitting there with and like ruminating, and like everyone knows it, but I didn't know how to like say it. And I think that that's a really good way of putting it.
Yeah, there are moments in the show where you wonder, like, how can all these three different women be such good friends? And then they're together, and the way they talk with each other, the intimacy there, the freedom that they have to like say those things, you realize, oh no, like Charlotte isn't that person. She works in a gallery. She might be from Connecticut, but she moved to New York, and she's actually very enlightened. And there's a reason she's friends with all these women. And yeah, I just love how well do we really know anyone that we sleep with?
Genius. And that's that situation that I was just talking about. That's what I learned from it. You know,
how
you
well
never really know somebody until they're trying to have a threesome in the middle of a bar.
That's true. And then I think you have every right to say, go fuck that guy. Yeah. And let's talk.
I pick him for you. How about that?
I pick that guy.
He's hot. I put, what's going on with that bread in her pocket?
Oh, yeah. What's up with that? I did notice that. So bizarre. I get it. You ever save some bread for later?
Yeah. At first I was like, what are you doing? And then I'm like, because she's hungover.
I get it, man. I love when they do that. So then they go through a bunch of classifieds for threesomes where different ads, which this part's really funny too. Like they kind of personify these crazy ads. And I'm curious, there's a good chance that they read real life ads in order to do that.
It seemed like they were.
Yeah.
But the only thing I was thinking this whole time was ads in newspapers for threesomes.
Crazy.
What?
And people did that.
In what?
That was like the classified section that people would literally put out ads, like sex ads, basically. Like for either threesome or prostitute or whatever. And people are doing that now with Craigslist. People still do that shit on Craigslist. And it's got to be fucking disgusting people who do that. And then back when I was on Bumble, and if you've been on Hinge or anything back in this was happening 8 years ago when I was on Bumble, you'd see couples on Bumble like looking for a third on fucking Bumble.
I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do. If that's really what you want. I mean,
and if you're really trying, I just can't imagine many women going on Bumble to have it, like many guest stars, I guess, being on Bumble and being like, oh, okay,
they look harmless.
Yeah,
yeah, absolutely.
I know I'm here looking for a boyfriend, but let's just take this stop.
It's a little bit different, but whenever me and Laura were living together, we would have nights where we're just scrolling through Hinge, Bumble, like seeing the same guys, and like we would do little games. Like one of us would text the same guy that they like found. We would just do, and we came across like a set of brothers on Bumble that were looking to hook up with two girls at the same time.
No. Disgusting.
Jail.
Incestuous.
Jail.
Incestuous.
Jail. Yeah, that was the craziest thing that I've ever come across.
That is crazy.
I don't know if it was Bumble or Hinge, but it was wild. Of course we commented. Like, what about us? And as long as they said yes.
As long as they said yes,
we could then block them.
you could walk away knowing that they would. That's so funny.
Yeah.
I have, this is just a random thing. It's not as applicable, but my old coworker is a twin and she's dating a twin. And I was like, have you tried to hook your twin sister up and his twin brother up? She's like, no, they've never met. Like, can you imagine? Like what are the odds? Isn't that crazy? Two twins dating.
That is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like literally, what are the odds? Run the numbers.
Run the numbers.
What? Because the odd, and how would we ever know what the odds are?
It's got to be recorded somewhere. She said her boyfriend went to a twin convention every year. There's a twin convention in
Maybe you have told me about this. Sounds very
in the
vaguely
Midwest.
familiar.
I found it crazy.
Maybe this was just on the news because it's so wild.
Oh,
if it's a twin convention though, then I guess that's
But
how they met.
they did not meet at the twin. They met on like Bumble, but she said her boyfriend and his brother do go to the twin convention
Because if
every
it was
year.
a twin, if we were twins, we would go to the twin convention.
Oh, it would be hilarious. She said it was a thing they did once and then they ended up like having a really good time. So now they always go.
That's so awesome.
It's really funny. Yeah, so the classified ads are crazy. People still do it now, just on a much kind of different
Newspapers are crazy to me.
scale.
You're like looking for like an apartment and then you come across that. And it's
Yeah.
like, that's just wild.
For real. Things felt just so much more dangerous back then.
Yes,
you
so
know,
much
like
more
all that
dangerous.
feels so dangerous. Carrie says, I seem to be the only person in NYC who still believes in one-on-one. Me and Big were actually doing sleepovers. Carrie, you're so pathetic.
Carrie.
Come on.
But we're kind of like Carrie right now.
Like, but it's so her saying, I'm the only one who still believes in one-on-one. You're not.
No.
You're not. Many
No.
people. And then me and Big were actually doing sleepovers. She sounds like Miranda doing a threesome, doing sleepovers.
God.
How long has it been now, Carrie?
He's finally letting you sleep in his bed. He's not kicking you out because he has to be up early for work.
That's love, baby.
Love. He's about to put a ring on her finger.
Oh gosh. And then she asks Big casually. She does a good job of asking him very casually. We've all done that where you're like, so
What about you?
have you done that?
She's like, I'm writing a story about threesomes. Have you done that?
What? Because I haven't. I wouldn't, but
Have you?
have you? And then he goes, yeah. And then she goes,
Oh.
with who's surprised? Of course he's done a threesome.
45 years
And
old.
he's like always dating models who want to.
yes.
He's done.
No one's surprised.
And then I am surprised by this next fact where she goes, with who? Like, such a funny. She's like
That's
trying
exactly what I would say too. I would say with
casual.
who.
Oh, that would be my first question. And he says, my ex-wife. And that's shut her up real quick.
So the red flags are just piling up.
Crazy.
How do you date someone for, it's probably been a few months
Mm-hmm.
and you haven't had a conversation about an ex-wife?
No, that's
It's a
crazy.
pretty big deal.
That's a big deal. The ex-wife?
Like, I've never heard about an ex-wife. Like, come on.
That's crazy. And it just makes me wonder. She's like, we're talking for hours and hours. What are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
What could you possibly be talking
Because
about?
if it's not an ex-wife, what is it?
You should know his history, like roughly. And if he doesn't mention an ex-wife in there, an ex-wife that, mind you, he's still close with. Think about it. So then we have another crazy transition. It's like a small square box that
Weird. I
goes
don't
to
know
the
why
next.
it keeps happening.
And the girls are trying on makeup, it seems, at like a perfume makeup type counter. We
Mhm.
got Samantha, Carrie, and Miranda.
Mhm.
And they tell her to check on the ex, as anyone would do. Look her up.
Crazy. Okay. So obviously in today's age, I would have found the ex-wife on Instagram like that.
No, like within 5 minutes.
Absolutely within 5. I would have gone to the bathroom and
Oh,
did
you
it while I'm
quietly-
still at his place.
This probably couldn't have even happened before because you would already know. Like it would have been something you figured out.
Exactly. But in the 90s, they couldn't do this.
Mm-hmm.
So Carrie has to go find his ex-wife
Out of pocket.
at her place of work.
At her place of business.
At her place of business. And go have a meeting? A fake business meeting?
Under false pretenses.
Can we add up? Can we have post right here. We'll just add in just a list of the craziest toxic things that Carrie has done
thus far.
I mean, we have the showing up to his apartment wasted. We have the calling at the bar
to say I'm fuck
with
someone
another
else.
guy.
Yeah.
I mean, and now this. Like,
And now
this is unhinged behavior.
Showing up at the ex-wife's house
And we've all been there.
to speak with her. Well, and that's
I can't judge because
it's so great. It's so interesting. It's fucking, who among us hasn't just wanted to have that conversation, you know?
dude. And I get it. Like, I totally get it, because when I hear about an ex, like, and don't sit here and tell me that you don't do this shit. You go find them on social media. You know everything about them. I'll find your great grandmother.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking at old baby pictures of you.
Yeah.
I know everything about your life.
That's a part of it. And in some cases, you meet the ex organically. And
who knows what I would have done?
Who
you become friends with the enemy.
Well, that's the problem, is oftentimes you unfortunately figure out that the ex is cool, which is the fucking worst, because
that's the worst.
You want to hate them. You want to hate them so bad.
You can't.
And then you actually spend some time talking to them and you're like, fuck. And I remember I told Greg this. I said, it's unfortunate, but I think I like your ex-girlfriend. I think she's cool. Like, I enjoy her company. And Greg's like, yeah, I wouldn't date someone that sucked. And that's what's true. You know, I think,
well,
I mean, not always, but I do think if there's a good chance that you will be friendship-wise compatible with your boyfriend's ex,
they probably
have a similar
really
type.
funny, and beautiful.
They might be cool.
Got a banging vibe.
Yeah. Unfortunately, they might end up being fucking cool, and that's even worse. You just want to hate them.
Yeah, that's the worst case scenario,
and that's what happens here with Barbara.
Yeah.
She goes and meets her like a fucking crazy person. And she says she's writing a children's book. I'm like, why that? Why that?
That's crazy. But she has to, because why else would she be there? So Barbara, Big's ex, is a children's book author,
publisher,
and Carrie's a writer. What else is she going to say? I'm here to look at you.
But think of your story ahead of time, right?
Yeah.
Did she not know that part of the story, I guess? I assume maybe she just thought she was a publisher and not, I don't know. And so it keeps getting worse. She said a little girl named Catherine, little Kathy, who's got magic cigarettes. Pretty funny. And I do remember the first time I saw this. I'd read it. They take her wherever she lights up, and she goes anywhere in the world. Arabia, New Jersey.
I loved it. The second one is New Jersey. Those are the two places she can name.
So funny. Arabia or New Jersey. A children's book for adults. Oh no, but it's for adults. That's why. You know what? I'd buy it. Coffee table book.
And she goes, oh shit, she gets me.
Yeah, because she
gets me. She's pretty. She's smart. She's funny. She's got good taste.
Fuck.
Yep.
And it's pretty funny. And then I said, why does everything Carrie do pay off somehow?
Yes.
Every toxic
thing she does works out for her.
It somehow works out, and it all kind of falls into place for her, because frankly, this couldn't happen nowadays either, because I'm sure that your ex, or your boyfriend or whatever, their ex knows who you are too. Mm-hmm. That's the thing. Everyone already knows who
everyone is.
They have all creeped each other, so no one would ever get away with this nowadays. Next, we have Miranda back at therapy. This is my worst dressed. She's in
so bad.
She's in a vest. It's the vest. It's looks
really
like
bad.
She's like a middle school boy going to prom or something.
Oh my God.
And he says, oh, are you still worried about being sexually rejected by your friends? And then she asked the therapist if he would do a threesome with her.
Says, first we have to figure out why you're asking me that question.
When she asked him to do a threesome, she's like, would you do a threesome with me?
Zoom in on this. No, I wouldn't. I
Talk about
wouldn't.
why you're asking me. Not in that outfit.
Wouldn't have a threesome with Miranda in that outfit.
Not in that fucking vest.
Kidding me?
If you wanted to have a threesome with me, come to play, right?
Seriously.
Fucking put some effort in.
He comes to play at
He
the
come-
end of the
he
episode.
comes
We'll get
to
there.
play.
We'll get there.
She fucking comes to play. Then we have Carrie in big sex scene, but she's imagining him with his ex-wife, and she gets really weird. She's like making out with him, and then all of a sudden she goes, "Oh God!" She turns around.
Imagine you're making out with Greg and you just go,
Yeah, he'd say, "Where'd you go?" No, Greg would be like, "Did you see a fucking go?"
wait,
No,
wait.
you know-
Your dog is the only.
Okay, we have to have this offshoot because the weirdest fucking thing happened to us the other day. Like, I can't even. It's exactly what happened, what Carrie did to Big, except it was me and this man and my fucking dog. So we were out at drinks on the Beltline. It was like a beautiful day, people hanging out, you know, one of those days where a lot of people are out. And this bald man, I don't know why I had to say he was bald. That was so mean of me. It had nothing to do with his
Who
baldness. He walks up to us and he starts petting my dog Todd, my dog, without saying anything. And he's kind of, you know, really getting in there, like really just like mashing
I
it.
think there should be a rule on if you're going to pet someone's dog, it should be very light.
Yeah.
And gentle.
It should just pet a dog like a normal person. You can only pet my dog like that if you fucking know him. Like he's just like Todd.
Like, I'll get into Todd.
Yeah, you can
I'll
get
get
it
in there.
'cause you know him.
Yeah.
And he's just mashing his jowls around and all of his skin. And then he goes like, and then he starts like messing with his collar and like kind of Todd has like a little pinch collar because he pulls really hard on the leash and he's kind of.
Show a picture of Todd here.
The picture of Todd is up on the screen for those watching on Spotify. And he is like pinching the collar and he looks really scared. Like, and this is going to be a very
And
video.
I'm really scared.
This is a very video heavy portion of the story. So if you're on Spotify, you're going to
Take
need
a
to
look.
watch this. And so he's pinching and he's looking at it like eyes wide, like, oh
And
my
at
God.
this point, we're all looking at this guy. We're just like,
We're all staring at him wide-eyed, and Greg isn't here. It's just me,
Oh, yeah, Greg's
Morgan,
gone.
and Frida. So it's just three girls.
we don't have a man to protect
Yeah.
us.
And he's just like looking, like looks horrified. And I was like, it's the pinch collar. It doesn't hurt him. Like it's just because he's really strong. And then he goes, this is your dog? And I go, yeah, it's my dog. I'm holding him. What do you fucking think, man? Like he's attached to my chair. He goes, this is your dog? I go, yeah. And then he goes, this is the only dog.
Slowly?
Like it's almost like he's like floating away. Like he's creeping back so slowly. And he goes, "This is the only dog."
And I look at Lauren and I'm like, what?
I said, the only
The
what?
only what?
The only what? And he's just
Very
his-
Jennifer Lawrence in the, what?
I said, what do you mean he's the only dog? And he's just slowly trailing behind with his eyes really wide, like holding his hands up, like he's just witnessed the second coming of I don't know.
No,
He's
and I
seen
see
something.
it in my nightmares to this day. It was the scariest thing I've ever been through.
This is the only dog. It was so fucking crazy.
Todd was assaulted that day.
He was assaulted. I was so worried for him. And then this man leaves and then he's just standing in the corner watching us, staring at us for the next probably 15 minutes. Greg comes back, fucking, where have you been? Where have you been? And I'm explaining it to Greg.
We almost were murdered.
and we were almost murdered. And then this man comes back like, I don't know, 20 minutes later. And then he starts petting Todd again. And what did he say the second? He said something so weird the second time.
Well, I started questioning him. I was
Yeah.
like, you look like you've known him before.
Yeah. It looks like you've met him before because we were coming up with a bunch of different ideas on why he would say.
I just wanted him to tell us that he wasn't going to eat Todd.
Yeah,
I just thought he was going to eat him.
Morgan goes, I think that guy wants to eat your
He
dog.
wants to eat him. And he goes to Lauren. He goes, well, he keeps looking at you. What is he keep looking at
That's
you?
what he said. He said, why does your dog keep looking at you? I was like, I don't know, because I'm his mom?
Because this is my dog.
Maybe because you're assaulting
and you're
him?
assaulting him. And he's like trying to look for help.
No, he did not. Todd did not fuck with this guy. Todd was just staring at me wide-eyed like, what is this fucking guy doing? And he goes, why is he staring at you? And I go, maybe because I'm his mom. Like, I don't know.
Absolutely crazy. That was one of the most traumatic experiences of my life.
It was horrific. And we determined he had to have been on drugs.
No, yeah, he was on drugs.
That was, and I feel better about that explanation than like he just
wanted to eat.
He wanted to eat him.
But he had the red dragon tattoos and everything.
He had a lot of tattoos.
I really thought that he wanted, yeah.
He was just the way this is the only dog.
Crazy.
Okay, so yeah, Carrie does this
Good to talk
Big.
about.
It's good to talk about it because I think we went through something.
We went through something that day.
That's trauma.
Yeah.
We need to talk to Todd about it. Actually,
know.
he's the one hurting.
God.
So Carrie does that to Big. He's horrified. He's just like, "Where did you go?" And then he knows that it's his wife somehow. He's like, "I am sorry that I didn't tell you about my ex-wife." Like, whatever. You know, not much else to say.
That's really all that happens. The next thing I have is, what is she doing in all capital? What was the next scene? What did I write?
Oh, the next one. Okay, so Samantha runs into the man and his wife.
Oh, yeah.
So Samantha runs into the man that she's fucking and his wife, and it's so awkward. And she's just like, "Hi, Tom."
As it should be.
It is, and it's really weird.
It should be weird.
And
she should feel terrible. That's a terrible thing to do.
She should feel terrible.
Yeah.
And
at this point, I'm like, okay, good. I'm glad.
she should. And side note, she looks gorgeous. I mean, if I were
Poor
his
wife.
I know. If I were his wife,
And you could tell the wife just automatically knows.
yeah, she knew.
She knew because she's like, what?
It's a woman's intuition.
Yeah, you just know.
Because Samantha was trying not to make it weird, and he was the one making it weird.
Yeah.
And I mean, she should have known, you're fucking a
Yeah.
guy with a wife, but so that happened.
You always know.
And I was happy. I was like, Samantha, this is
Yeah.
kind of what happens.
Mhm.
Carrie and Barbara lunch scene.
Yes.
Carrie gets a blowout.
Carrie gets a blowout.
to look just like her.
Carrie pulled a U.
She's
Got an $800 blowout.
She pulled a me, and
And it looks great.
yeah.
It looks so good.
She's may have a better reason to than I do.
Yeah. So Carrie's really pulling all the stops right now. They go and they have lunch. This is so
It's
Yeah.
crazy.
You can't. Like, you really, like, you had the first meeting and you didn't think to. No.
no,
This is crazy. So, like, she's going to have another lunch with the guy she's seeing ex-wife.
and
This is crazy.
when I first saw this episode, I was like, okay, whatever. The first thing is crazy, but it could be excusable. The second meetup is just like, girl, something's wrong. You can't do that.
You can't do
You
that.
can't. It's gonna come out. How is it not gonna come out? Cuidado. That was a close one.
No, it's wild. And they end up like closing down the restaurant. Like, they're really talking, and then she asks,
She can't help herself. She just can't help
so
herself.
what happened in your marriage that made you guys split up? And Barbara, Big's ex, says, he cheated on me with my best friend.
That's bad. That's pretty much, I think, maybe the worst thing that you can ever do to someone.
I mean, if the red flags haven't already been building up, and it's easy to say it when you're watching someone else go through it, because God knows I've been through all the red flags that I didn't dump someone for.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, the person you're seeing is not only a cheater, but cheated on his wife with her best friend.
No, like,
God, I
that's
don't know if
bad.
I could do it.
And at that point, I think you just pick Barbara in the divorce. You say, I like
Yeah, you're like,
she's-
I like Barbara. She's my new friend. She's
Yeah.
joining the group.
Barbara's my new friend, and Big is fucking out because that's crazy.
No,
Cancel him. Just cancel him. It's over.
canceled.
And then the next scene is so amazing.
Hello.
It's over. I told my wife.
Who is this?
It's Ken.
Wait, you told Ruth about us?
I'm in love with you. Now we can be together.
Oh, no. Hang on. Hello?
Samantha, this is Ruth Shear. Ken's wife? Yeah, I found your number in his sock drawer.
Hang on. Listen to me. You love your wife.
No, I'm in love with you.
No.
It's over. I told my wife.
Yes.
Who is this?
So funny. Who else could it be, Samantha? Who else? How many husbands are you fucking?
Who is this?
So bad. So the guy that Samantha's sleeping with, that's married, leaves his wife for Samantha. Samantha doesn't want that.
No.
God, man.
Doesn't want it.
Grow up.
Grow up.
And my favorite quote of this scene is Samantha was oh wait, no, before I say that, I'm getting ahead of myself. The wife's like, well, you know, I'm going to do everything I can to fight for this marriage. And if we all need to sleep together, then if that's what it takes, then that's what we're doing.
She said, I'm prepared to join you.
Yeah. And Samantha's like horrified by this. And then the speak over from Carrie is, Samantha was a guest star. Series regular was not in her contract.
So
I loved that.
it was so good. And I felt really still like who is this was hilarious. But whenever the wife entered this like 3-way call, I felt so icky I was like,
It was bad. It was
this
sad.
poor woman. I felt really bad. Just like this like desperation of like, I'm prepared to join you.
It
like
was sad.
crazy. So crazy. I can tell you there is not a man on earth that could cheat on me and I respond with, I'm prepared to join you. That's crazy.
No, that's wild.
That's like
Good on
bad.
her.
Good on her.
That's-
But I could
I see
never
her.
be that loyal to a
No,
man.
that's crazy. That's crazy. A lot of toxicity in this episode.
I know. That's like I think that's why it wasn't my favorite. A lot of toxicity. Then we got Charlotte at another charity benefit.
Why don't mask parties happen anymore?
It would be hard to drink alcohol, I think. You know, mask on.
Yeah.
Are you into that?
They don't happen?
They never
And
happen.
I feel like they used to happen. I was watching this. I was like, I always see masquerades
On
or mask
TV.
parties on TV. I've never been invited to one. Are they happening and I'm just not being invited?
Never seen one in progress.
No.
What is the word I'm trying to say? Never seen one. I don't even know what word I'm looking for. Never seen one in real life. But I will say, in high school, one of our either homecoming or prom was masquerade themed, but no one was going to wear a mask. No, like you were not going to wear a mask
Because
it was
it's
like
it has to be. You have to wear a mask, and if you don't, there's no point of the masquerade party.
yeah. I feel like if our friends tried to do it now, all the guys would just try to one up each other with like who can get the weirdest
The
mask.
craziest mask.
Yeah, and then the girls just straight up wouldn't do it. Like I think if I threw a masquerade party,
It'd be itchy, and I don't.
yeah,
want it on me.
I think it just annoys people too much.
And a lot of them, you have to hold them
Exactly.
up.
And so at that point, you're not holding it, you know, it's too much of a nuisance, really.
Yeah.
I do, on a completely different note, I would love to do a party like the English throw where they all have those little hats.
That would be cute.
I would be into that.
I like the hats, like a high tea.
Yeah, like a high tea.
That'd be cute.
I think.
but like with dirty martinis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The mask. And then, so basically they try to have a threesome. He takes her upstairs. He goes, she winked at you. And then she has actually a pretty like, I said we might have best dressed here. I really like
Yeah.
her dress.
Agreed.
And then they go upstairs. And she goes like, let's hook up upstairs at a party. That's a fantasy of mine, which I think is a cute save. Like that's, that's also like kind of crazy, you know, like hooking up upstairs at someone's house at a party. Like
What's crazy is that they go up there to do it and they don't shut the door.
that is what's crazy.
That's what's really crazy about
Yeah,
it. Was
just
that a part of your fantasy?
Just shut the door.
Just shut it.
Shut it.
Shut the door.
Shut the door.
So they don't shut the door, and they're hooking up, and the girl that Charlotte sees downstairs that winked at her comes up and is like, "Can I join?"
Clearly, the guy has talked to her about it up front in some way. And Charlotte reluctantly agrees. She says, like, if I'm ever going to do it, now's the time. It's right in front of me.
Out of stranger's house.
Yeah,
with the door
so
open.
it's just doubly crazy. You're
Yeah.
not safe in any form.
Nope.
And she immediately gets left out of the club.
Yeah, and that's the big fear.
That's the fear.
And that's what it comes down to with threesomes. You don't want to be left out.
No. If I were to ever do one, it would all need to be about me. And
Three's a
I'm never
crowd.
left out of anything.
No, God.
No.
That's why you do it with two men.
Because you'll never be left out
You'll
of the
never be left out of that.
So she's just, and she does the right, she just gets up and leaves. She's like, I don't have to take this shit.
Yeah.
She just gets up and leaves, and they're really aggressive about it
And
too.
Charlotte just keeps getting in these situations.
I literally wrote down, she keeps getting into these situations.
And I feel like all of her storylines are with men asking her to do something sexually
that she doesn't want to
that she
do.
doesn't want to do.
Like, she just can't seem
I
to.
guess- okay, well, I guess she did kind of want to do this. I think she did. She genuinely wanted. She was excited by it. She had a wet dream about it.
Let's not forget, she did open up her coochie to get it
Charlotte
painted as
freak.
well. So she's like, don't sleep on Charlotte.
Sleep on Charlotte.
She'll turn on
Dalai Lama.
She's the Dalai Lama. She leaves pop off Charlotte, and then Miranda, meanwhile, answers a classified ad to have
Love
a
it.
threesome.
Yeah, Miranda answers like a Craigslist ad to go have a threesome with these people at this really cool bar. And she looks great.
She looks beautiful.
She looks really good.
and these people look like cool enough. Like, they're not like freaks. They're not
No,
weird. You know,
they're cute.
she keeps saying, "So you really want to do a
With me.
threesome with me? Let me just double check.
You want to do a threesome with me?
You want to do a threesome?" and they go, "Yeah, you're so pretty." Like, and they're really excited.
they're very excited.
And she's kind of got her boobs out. It's like the most of Miranda's boobs we've ever seen. She's like looking sexy.
She looks so good.
Yeah.
I was thinking though about this too, of like this couple that put that ad, they have to go meet everyone who responds to the ad without seeing what they look like.
No, I
Which is
know.
another like thing that we got from social media.
No, you
kind
can
of
actually
crazy.
look at people beforehand if you want to do
Yeah.
that. I think if you put a fucking classified ad out and then you're actively with your partner going to meet people for this classified ad, you're a grade A freak.
Mm-hmm.
You're putting in the work to do this.
Yep.
It's not just something that's fallen into your lap.
Mhm.
You could just go to a bar and find someone, but no, they would rather. It's crazy.
Crazy.
I just kept on imagining how upset they were to learn she left, didn't she? Like, just like that feel. Oh, she left.
Oh.
And then they probably thought it was them. They're probably like, oh,
Yeah.
did she think we were weird or
No,
ugly?
no, yeah, I didn't like that. Bad on Miranda.
These poor people. But I did think it was funny. She got her validation.
And needs more therapy.
Yeah, her therapist recommended she come in 3 times a week. That was a funny ending to that story.
And then we flash to Carrie and Big, and they're leaving dinner. And Big's like, that was terrible dinner. What are you so upset about? And then, she tells him, she's like, well, you've had an ex-wife this whole time that I didn't know about. And
Okay, so before we go on, do you think she had a right to be mad? Because I don't know if she does anymore. I feel like it's been a week. And if you're going to be weird about it,
now at this point,
yeah,
no.
to be like
At
weird
the
at dinner for like a
beginning?
week, I think if it happens at the beginning, then you just go, oh, wow, you should have told me. That's fucked up.
Get over
But if
it.
don't spend 2 weeks
No,
being
it's
weird.
an ex.
It's his ex. He has an ex-wife. That's not reason to be mad at him.
Yeah, like, yes, I'd be a little annoyed that this didn't come up, and I would probably have a conversation about it.
Mhm.
And then once that conversation's over, like, it's not that, I mean, well, there's enough fucking red flags that probably she should have seen by now, but at this point, don't like be ruining dinners over it.
Yeah, because I mean, it's one thing if like you did this crazy thing and you're kind of mad about what you found out, but it's a little bit like, yeah, you did something wrong to get that information, I
Yeah.
guess, you know? And
No,
if,
I agree.
Like, yeah.
And this is when Big knows that this is happening.
That's what's crazy. That's psycho shit.
Big knows, not only Big knows that Carrie is going to his ex-wife and having secret lunch meetings with her, but Barbara knows. The ex-wife knows. Everyone knows this is happening. And they're just like, So nonchalant about it. Oh my God. If I was doing this and if I was in another mind, I don't know. If I was doing this, Jesus Christ, I don't know. But if I was and then I found out that my partner knew that I was doing that, I would be so mortified. I'd be like, oh my God, he knows.
No, when
Oh
when
my
he
God.
revealed that he knew, yeah, I know she told me at lunch. Yeah, she told me she told you.
No.
That
Everything about that.
because I couldn't believe that she told him that she did that. And then his response, yeah, I know. She told me she told you.
told me. That means that you guys are talking about how crazy I am.
Yeah, that means
Oh.
like she just sat through this lunch with you,
Oh.
knowing how fucking crazy you are. And then
Asking about your ex-husband as though you have no idea. Oh my God, I would be so humiliated.
And
I'd
then-
be so mortified. I would start profusely apologizing, maybe throwing up, crying.
so bad.
It would be so bad. And she's just like, oh, well, you still keep up with her. You have no right to be, Big is fully in the right here to be upset. And
No.
he's not.
And he's not. He loves her crazy ass.
He loves her crazy ass.
I don't know how this shit keeps working.
He loves her
out for
crazy
her.
ass.
I said so crazy. Barbara knew. Huge fucking twist. Yeah. And then he said we had a threesome because we were both looking for something or someone else.
And that's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
I think, and I don't want to make a generalization for people who like to do threesomes, and that's okay. That's your thing, and that might work for your relationship. Like, keep it interesting, keep it spicy, whatever, you do you. But I think more often than not, it is because you're bored
Yeah.
or you are looking for something that might be more exciting than just the person standing in front of you, and which is a little sad.
Yeah, I think in terms of like spicing things up or like new forms of intimacy, like there's just a lot of other things that I'd like to try before something
Yeah.
like that. And I think especially like in your case with this relationship, like a year in, it's like,
Yeah.
bro, we haven't even like figured us
Yes,
out.
Exactly. You should not be bored of me.
No, like we have like if you think this has longevity, we have decades more to go
Yeah.
to like think about other shit.
And that's why it's like, okay, maybe if you're, I don't know, 10 years into a marriage,
20 years.
20 years, I don't know. Yeah, like then you start talking about that kind of stuff. Like, more power to you. But like, Jesus Christ, a year in.
In Charlotte's case, like a couple weeks
couple
in,
weeks.
this guy's just like,
Well, I do think that there's something to it being such a short amount of time
oh yeah,
that it's so new and you might not be that, oh, this is my person forever. Why not have a little bit of fun? Because this is already new and exciting. Let's make it even more new and exciting.
So, funnily enough, that just reminded me. I actually have a girlfriend who became her boyfriend through a threesome. Isn't that funny?
Interesting.
He sucked. He was not a good boyfriend to her.
Sucked.
And I do think they always had issues with that going forward. Because he was like, I met you through this threesome, like whatever. And she was like, I fucking met you in that threesome too.
Yeah.
Like we're both whores, like whatever. But yeah, she ended up going on to date him for like 2 years. It's this gross double standard with all of it.
Oh my God, I hate it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Spicy memories.
And somehow what Big said worked on her. We had a threesome because we were looking for something. Someone
always
else
works.
And then she's like, oh, okay. Will you forgive me for being fucking crazy? And I'll forgive you for being a terrible person. Because they didn't talk about how he cheated on her with her best friend. They didn't talk about that.
They didn't talk about that. They didn't talk about
She's
how
asking
Carrie
about
is
the
crazy.
threesome. How Carrie's crazy.
Are they meant for each other?
Maybe. And then it's just like this, like, you know, kissing and threesome is easy. It's intimacy. That's the bitch.
Boo.
Put that in line for worst quote.
Boo.
They got lazy with that one.
They got lazy.
Okay. And that's the episode.
All I gotta say is, welcome to the Emmys.
Awards time.
Award season is upon us.
I'm Ryan Seacrest, and we're
Ladies
here to
and
announce the
Mhm.
nominees. Who
Jimmy
won the
Kimmel, 'cause
episode?
He hosts every single
That's right.
Oscar.
Ryan Seacrest hasn't done anything. I'm showing my age again.
Idiot.
Why do I do this?
Are you 31?
So stupid.
Oh.
God.
Who won the episode? You go.
Miranda.
Yes. Agreed.
Yeah. Who lost the episode?
Oh, wait, no, you said Miranda won?
Yeah, I think Miranda won. She kind of got her feelings hurt, but
Oh,
she ended up getting her validation and feeling
I
good
guess you're
about herself.
right.
I mean, I don't think the other girls won. I think everyone had a pretty rough go of it. So if we're gonna pick a winner, I think it's got to be Miranda.
I guess you're right. Yeah, I agree. You convinced me.
The other girls lost bad. I don't even know who lost the episode worse.
I think, well, the wife of the man that was cheating on her with Samantha, yes, she lost. Out of the 4 girls, I think Samantha lost. Samantha fucked up.
Yeah, I had Samantha or Charlotte. They both were pretty down bad, but I do think Samantha's situation is worse.
Yeah.
She bit off more than she could chew with that one. Best outfit?
I have Charlotte at the bar with the gold dress. And
Yes.
the cute hair.
Mine is also Charlotte, except it is Charlotte at the party when she tries to have
Yes.
a threesome and leaves. I like that kind
Charlotte
of metallic
looks
dress.
great in this episode.
It's her episode really to shine. Worst outfit.
Miranda at her therapist's office.
Miranda in the vest.
Terrible.
Oh God, the vest is so bad. Best quote for me is, "It's over. I told my wife." Who is this?
God.
It's so good. That's like, I see that on so many of like the meme accounts or whatever. Like it's such an iconic like thread.
Yeah. I think mine is if your friends won't go down on you, who will?
That's a really good one. Who will? Really? I think a lot of people that aren't your friends.
Yeah,
Probably everyone who
Maybe
isn't
the
your
quote is unfounded.
friend. What aged the best?
So many things aged the worst.
I know.
in this
I said
episode.
I wrote not much.
I think Charlotte's hairdo. I keep coming back to Charlotte, but the little like
Bring it back.
the little I don't know what those are, but they're almost like little braids,
Yeah.
little puffs. Like bring those back.
I feel like Billie
It
Eilish
seems-
kind of does those sometimes.
It seems very difficult to do.
Oh, it looks very difficult, and it looks like you have to have Charlotte's bone structure in order
Yeah.
to pull it off. I think I'd
Yeah.
look fucking crazy. I wrote, leaving a man who asks you for a threesome. That aged well.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
What aged the worst?
Ads in newspapers for threesomes and masked parties. Masquerade.
Masked party aged the worst.
Yeah.
I wrote stalking your ex in person.
Oh, well. I think you beat me.
Physically stalking.
beat me
or
with that
one. Stalking your boyfriend's ex, I guess. Who was the most toxic? I said Carrie, like no question, Carrie.
No question. Okay, Samantha too.
Yeah,
But Carrie,
you're right. Wild of Carrie. And then was this feminist? I said I don't think so. I don't know.
No.
I think no, just not this one.
No.
Not this one, man.
Not that I even at this point know what feminism is, nor will I ever.
We're defining it each and every day.
Yeah. And that's okay.
We're going to say plenty of feminist and also anti-feminist things. And we're women, so we're allowed to do that. Oh, let's do both.